Going live. All right.
Hello and good evening to everybody. Hello Sir Gary. Ayan na, nandiyan na ulit si Sir Gary. Hi Sir, kamusta po ang inyong araw today?
Hi, good evening everyone. Medyo busy tayo ngayon kasi dahil sa GEGA pa at marami tayong tinutulungan ng mga teachers, lalo na sa DepEd. Ayan, kaya busy po. So magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat. Andito na naman po ako. Simula kayo ng umaga, ngayon lang ulit ako nakita. At welcome po sa ating episode na pinamagatang Teach Better, Work Faster, Automating Tasks with Google Apps Script. I'm very excited to be here tonight kasi si Miss Lei Inciong po ang ating speaker, ang magtuturo sa atin paano ba ang app scripting using Google Sheets. Kasi nung panahon ko, parang ganun katanda lang. Nung panahon ko, kailangan tayong bumili ng software para mag coding, So ngayon, using Google Apps Script, matututo tayo without even spending so much. So, to introduce Miss Lei, sige nga po, go ahead your topic and maybe you can tell us something about yourself, Yeah,
Yes,
good
sure.
evening, Miss Lei.
Hi, everybody. Good evening and welcome to the session. Isang napakagandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat at nakibahagi kayo sa ating last session for this day. And I'm really so happy and excited to share with you how you can teach better, work faster by automating your task with Google Apps Script. So as a short introduction, ako nga pala si Day, isang CPA at co-founder ng Bespoke Solutions, isang software development company na dedicated into creating custom solutions for businesses using Google Apps Script. Tulad ng karamihan sa ating mga educators, wala rin akong technical and coding background. Ang alam ko lang is very limited sa spreadsheet functions and formulas working as a CPA. Pero nung nakita ko kung gaano kalaki yung benefit at saka ginhawa na nabibigay namin sa mga nagiging clients namin tuwing nakakatapos kami ng isang project, nakakapanghinayang na hindi i-share itong knowledge na to sa lahat. Sabi nga ng iba naming mga clients, it's life-changing. So I'm really excited this evening to share with you how life-changing it can be. So, as an educator, ang daming nangyari ngayong 2000. So, nandito yung pandemic because of COVID-19. Nagkaroon tayo ng pinakamalaking lockdown sa Pilipinas. And we had to find a new normal for our learners. So, that we switched to distance learning. So many things have changed, and at the same time, you're expected as an educator to adapt right away. So ano ba tong mga nangyari? Kailangan mo ngayong matutunan kung paano i-transition yung work mo online. There's a lot of new technology to learn, and basically you're doing things differently from what you're used to. So nakaka-stress, nakakapagod, dinagdag pa to dun sa workload mo, di ba? So mapapaisip ka, paano ko ba mapapadali ang trabaho ko? So this is where we take a look back, and I'm just going to share with you a short perspective. This is from Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's just a short story, pero ito yung tuwing naiisip ko sa tuwing nag-automate kami ng projects. So there was once a woodcutter who was so busy cutting trees. And he has this saw that he's using to cut all of these trees. So it's just so happened that parang there's so many trees to cut and he has so little time. So while he was busy cutting trees all day long, parang a passerby saw him and asked, I can see that you're busy cutting trees all day, and I noticed that your saw is dull. Why don't you take a break and sharpen your saw? To which the woodcutter said, can't you see I'm so busy? I don't have time to sharpen my saw. Kung ikaw yung nakikinig dun sa conversation nilang dalawa, mapapaha ka. Kasi parang, hindi ba, kung tumigil lang siya and shinarpen niya yung saw niya, mas mapapabilis yung trabaho niya nung woodcutter. So, ang moral ng story dito is sometimes when we are so neck deep with what we're doing, we forget that we need to take a break to sharpen our saw. And this is the time when we can step back and see what we're doing from afar and see how we can improve on it. So, thank you so much to everybody na nandito sa talk na to kasi this is the time that you're giving to yourself so that you can sharpen your saw. So, what will we cover this evening? Um, what we will cover is really this session is all about introduction to the tools that you can use as you sharpen your saw. So it's an appreciation course for Google Apps Script, and it is more on how you can understand and have familiarity with the tools available at your disposal para you can use it later on in your own work. It is not a programming course. So we're not gonna cover anything na coding related kasi hindi rin ako programmer. So hindi ko siya maituturo sa inyo. So para we can start with the appreciation, these are the things that we will cover this evening. So we would first start why it's important to what it is for you as an educator to learn about Google Apps Script. What is Google Apps Script all about? So a little definition, and most importantly, how you can get started. So we'll show you examples of the tools na ginagamit namin and how you can use it yourself. All right. So what it is for you. So basically, as an educator, this session will help you gain appreciation for the tools available at your disposal, such as Google Apps Script, and to help you automate your task in Google. It will provide direction on how you can understand enough to get started and be comfortable so that you can apply it in your own work. That way, you can, save time, automate your work, and at the same time, be able to leverage on the accuracy. So once you have it in Google Apps Script. So, si Google Apps Script is part of Google Workspace. Ito yung mga collaboration tools that you can use as long as you have a Gmail address. So these are your Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides. I'm sure you're all familiar with it kasi we are at a GEG workshop. So we're going to be covering Apps Script. What is Google Apps Script? So Google Apps Script is a rapid development platform that makes it easy for you to build business solutions that could integrate, automate, and extend your Google Workspace. Ang keyword dito is that it integrates, it automates, and it can extend yung mga different Google collaboration tools that you use. As we all know, Google Workspace is already awesome enough as it is. Napapadali niya yung collaboration ng work natin, and more importantly, it's free. So as long as may Gmail account ka, you can use all of these tools. So with Apps Script, you can make it more awesome kasi you can customize it to fit your needs. With Apps Script as well, you can build quickly and easily, kaya nga siya tinawag na rapid development. Alam to ng mga IT people in the crowd kasi normally it will take you months or even sometimes years to develop software. Parang yung sinabi kanina ni Teacher Gary, dati kailangan mo siyang bilhin at saka kung magpapakustomize ka, ang tagal aabutin bago matapos. Pero with using Google Apps Script, yung development would take days instead of months. It can take days to weeks. Yung mga ipapakita ko sa inyo, it took us only a few days to develop. And more importantly, it can scale your productivity. Meaning, once na-automate mo na yung workflow mo or yung process mo using Google Apps Script, you can use this again and again to make your work more effective and so that you can be more efficient at your work as well. So you can focus on things that matter, such as developing your your research, or you could focus on teaching, or you can focus on creating lesson plans instead of doing, repetitive and manual tasks over and over again. And app scripting is made for Google. So this is explanatory because app scripting, kaya nga may Google app scripting, is because it runs in the Google platform. So before, you have these, what it means in practice basically, or in a diagram such as this, is you have your document, you have your sheets, you have your Google Forms and slides, and these are all siloed. Parang as it is, they work awesome. Pero if you add app script in the mix, you can automate. Say for example, I want to send test questions using my Gmail account, and then it will direct them directly to a Google form. Tapos dun sa forms na yon, yung submissions nila will get recorded and computed sa Google Sheets. So you don't have to compute. Si Google App Script na yung gagawa ng computation for you. So that's an example of a workflow. And it can also do other powerful things, such as it can create custom menus and dialog box, and it can write custom functions in your Google Sheets. It can write macros. You can also make them interact with other Google services, such as AdSense, Analytics, Calendar, Drive, ganyan. Tapos yung more advanced version ng Google App Scripting is you can actually create add-ons and web apps. So it could be a standalone program that's available to the public. So those are some of the samples that you can use Google App Script for. All right. So, now that we know what Google App Script is, how can it exactly help me? So, actually, preparing for this talk, I asked a few teachers, a few close friends of mine, na kung paano ba nila ginagawa yung work nila para maintindihan ko, like how we can automate things for them. So, tinanong ko si Teacher P. Tago na lang natin siya sa pangalan Teacher P. Tinanong ko si Teacher P, parang, ano ba yung work mo na repetitive and very manual? And she told me about how she's doing her grading each school year. And so you might do things a bit differently from Teacher P, pero for the purpose of our example, gawin na lang natin yung bibigay ko na lang, ipapresent ko na lang on how Teacher P is doing her work sa grading, and then yung manual version nun, tapos later pupunta tayo kung ano yung automated version nun. So, si Teacher P, at the end of each quarter, at the start of each school year, what she will do is she'll have a list of all the students. So, ifo-forward sa kanya ni registrar na, ito Teacher P, lahat nung classes mo for this school year. So, itatype niya, like one by one, mag-create siya ng isang class record for the students under her wing. So let me just share my other screen para to do this. So I have here yung list na finorward sa akin ng registrar. Don't worry, the names of these learners here are all fictional. Hindi sila totoo. Tapos ginawa ko lang yan. Tapos so walang data privacy issue na nangyari. So let's say for example, gagawa ako ngayon ng class record ko. So I'm in Google Elementary School. I'm teaching grade 3 Apple. And ayan, si Teacher P nakalagay. Tapos, ang gagawin ko at the beginning of each school year is ita-type ko one by one na ito yung Bakod James, Balagtas John. Tapos, once na magawa ko tong class record ko for Apple, for grade 3 Apple, gagawin ko naman siya for the other classes that I handle. So, if I handle 3 to 6 classes in a school year, I'm gonna repeat this process 5 to 6 times. And then, yun, nakagawa na ako finally ng electronic class record ko. So once that's done, ang mangyayari is mag-grade na ngayon si Teacher P. So sa grading niya, i-record niya dun sa assessment niya lahat ng let me just quickly go back to my slides. Sorry about that. Ayan. Nakikita niyo na ba yung screen ko? Na-stuck siya sa akin eh. Okay, great. Alright. So, ang mangyayari ngayon, after niya magawa yung electronic class record niya, ang gagawin niya next is mag-grade na siya. So, lahat ng assessment niya, ilalagay niya doon sa record sheet. So, every time na matatapos yung exam or yung recitation or yung quarterly exam, isusulat niya lang doon sa electronic class record niya. While she's been doing this, like at the end of the quarter, ang mangyayari ngayon is ita-transfer na ni Teacher P yung records na yon from her own electronic class record dun sa grading sheet na nakalagay na doon lahat ng subjects for that class. So, kunwari ako si Teacher P, ang gagawin ko is ita-transfer ko ngayon yung grade ng students ko. So, dahil naka-align naman sila, ika-copy ko lang lahat, Control-C, tapos, pa-paste ko siya dun sa grading sheet ng class na yon for English, and then Control-V. Ayan. So, as you can see, nag-update na yung grading ko for that. So, pop yung iba. Kasi naka-merge siya. Sige. So yun, kailangan maging maingat si Teacher P kasi shared file yung grading sheet na to. So kung meron akong maling edit, like what happened earlier, maapektuhan yung ibang mga teachers na nag-enter for that grading. So gagawin ko para hindi ako magkamali, isa-isahin ko na lang i-type siya. Tapos, once I do this for 3Apple, gagawin ko rin siya ngayon dun sa other subjects or other classes that I handle. So I'll do this like 6 times pa. Tapos, hindi pa siya doon nagtatapos. Kung advisor si Teacher P, gagawin niya is lahat ng nasa grading sheet, ililipat niya ngayon sa report card para matanggap ng bata. So ngayon, gagawin ko is ito yung pinaka-grading sheet ko, ililipat ko na siya ngayon dito sa report card. So, I have to be very careful. Okay, sa math, 93 siya. Ayan. So, you get the gist, right? It's very manual. Yung isa sa mga, parang sana magawa mo siya in just one input. Kailangan mo siyang gawin repetitively, like 2 or 3 times, entering the same data. And then, at the same time, paulit-ulit. Parang you're just copying the same data over and over again. So mapaisip ka talaga, parang, Lei, is there a better way to do this na parang hindi ko siya gawin ng paulit-ulit? Meron. May better way to do it. So if this sounds like your case, what you could do is actually automate it through Google Apps Script. So this time around, instead of typing one by one in 5 different files, yung mga names ng mga student at the beginning of the year, what we did is, yung isang class record mo is gonna be in one place. So, you work with your registrar. So, for example, ito yung list ng lahat ng enrollees for your school. Tapos, at the start of the year, ilalagay lang ni registrar yung last name nila, yung first name, yung gender, kung anong grade na ng student, and kung anong section sila naka-assign. Tapos, ang gagawin mo na lang is i-run mo yung script na din-develop namin. So, you're just gonna click yung create class sheets. And then when you click this, mag-a-appear na yun. Siya na yung mismong gagawa ng bawat isang class record. So, this is how the class record would look like. As you can see, nakalagay na dito yung different subjects for that class. So, math, English, Filipino, edukasyon sa pagpapakatao, AP. Tapos, yung mga students now, nakasulat na rin siya. And as you can see, updated din dito yung weights sa written work and performance task. So lahat ng ito, yung script na yung gumawa. So ang gagawin na lang ni teacher is i-access nyo na lang tong class record na to and pupunta siya dun sa subject na tinuturo niya. So instead of typing each and every time, ang focus na lang ni teacher ngayon is recording kung ano yung tinype nila sa sheet na to. Tapos, ang kinagandahan pa niya, once na na-type mo na yung assessment for that student, mako-consolidate na din siya sa isang file. And this consolidated file, you can automate it further pagdating sa report card. So you can use, say, for example, AutoCAD, and then just create a report card from this consolidated file. Okay? Sounds a lot to take in, pero mamaya iba-break down natin siya one by one on how you can get started with this kind of automation. All right. So, let me reshare my presentation kasi masyado siyang maliit. So, how exactly do I get started? You can get started with using Google Apps Script by first using yung tinatawag na add-on. So, ito yung tatlong levels on how you could start. You have add-ons, you have macros, and then you have the heavy-duty coding. So, iisa-isahin natin siya. So, for the first part, installing add-ons. What are add-ons? Add-ons are third-party programs built in your Google Apps Script that integrates with Google Workspaces. So, ang keyword dito, it's a third-party program. So, these programmers develop a script na they shared sa public so that yung public could use it to just install it and then use it straight away. An example of an add-on is AutoCAD. So, it's a very flexible, easy-to-use document na ang gagawin niya is meron kang template. So, for example, meron kang certificate. Tapos, certificate of attendance. Tapos, meron kang attendance sheet sa iyong Google Sheet. So, ang ginagawa lang ni AutoCAD is kung ano yung nakalagay na pangalan dun sa attendance sheet mo, pwede niya ngayong ilipat yung pangalan na yon at ilagay dun sa certificate. So, that way, pag nag-go through ka one by one sa mga attendees for your talk, isang pindutan lang, ma-generate niya na lahat ng certificate for those attendees. So, yun yung ginagawa ni AutoCAD. Very useful siya for automating repetitive documents like, yun nga, certificate of attendance, report cards, feedback forms. So, yun yung kinagandahan niya. I'll show you how you can install it, pero hindi natin i-cover sa talk na to on how you will set it up. You can read more about it kasi may mga documentation naman tungkol kay AutoCAD. And at the same time, you can also you find it in YouTube, like how you can use and set up AutoCAD. So how do you install? First, you go to your Google Sheets, and then under your Google Sheet, you can see there add-ons sa menu. Tapos, you just type in the add-on AutoCAD. So, diyan. So, when you click on add-on, you would click get add-ons, and then it will direct you to another page wherein you would type in, when you were click AutoCAD. Tapos, you just press continue, and then it will ask you to select an account. So, pipiliin mo lang yung email account mo. Dapat Gmail ha, kasi pag hindi Gmail, hindi yan gagana. Tapos, once you do that, you just give AutoCAD permission to be installed. And then, ayan, part na siya ng add-ons mo. So, paano mo i-run? So pupunta ka lang sa autocrat once you set it up, tapos press OK, and then may lalabas na pop-up window. Kailangan mo lang antayin. Tapos once na nag-load na siya fully, meron kang makikitang maliit na play button. Hintayin natin siya mag-load. Tan, 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 tan. So habang nag-load siya, ayun, papakita ko na lang para mabilis. So, let me share again my screen. Ayan. So, eto ngayon is a sample ng pag-run sa autocrat. So, ito yung sinabi ko. At the end of each quarter, nakapag-grade na ako ng math. Well, nakuha ko na yung grades for math, English, Filipino, and the other subjects. Tapos, ayan, na-consolidate ko na siya. Ang gagawin ko next is instead of typing one by one, I'm gonna use autocrat to generate my report card. So let me just quickly click add-ons, tapos click open. Tapos, while it's working hard, ayan, lalabas yung pop-up button, tapos maglo-load siya. Sensya na, medyo maraming naka-open na screen sa akin ngayon. Normally, mabilis naman siya. Tapos, ipapress mo lang yung play, tapos magra-run na siya in the background. So, habang chinichika ko kayo, mangyayari dyan is, lalagay niya dun sa, pwede ko na siyang i-close actually. So, nakita niya, 30 rows will be merged. Tapos, close ko lang. So, ayan. Nakikita natin na si Bako James tapos na. So, may status naman. Tapos pag click mo ngayon, yung link, makikita mo na gawa na yung report card ko. So, ang gagawin niya habang nagdadaldalan tayo, i-generate niya itong mga PDF files na to. Hintayin lang natin mag-load. So, ikaw, as a teacher ngayon, instead of typing one by one, ang gagawin mo na is, i-check mo na lang kung accurate ba yung grades na na-record. So, kunyari, ito kay James, 93, 86, 92, 84, 96. So, let us check. So, pagdating ko sa math, it's tan, 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 tan. Buksan natin. Ayan. So, 93, yung math niya, yung
So, ganyan ka-exciting si autocrat, Miss Lei. So,
yes.
Maganda din siya gamitin sa maraming paraan. So, yung imagination lang ng teacher ang limit ng autocrat na yan. Kasi it can be used for generating certificate, it can be for report cards, at marami pang iba. Reminders for parents, kapag sa finance office, yung mga may utang, Kasi
Yes.
it can have a column na mag-i-email ba ako dito sa row na to o hindi? Yes or no? Kasi meron siyang condition na gano'n. So, napakaganda ni autocrat. So, Miss Lei, marami tayong tanong. Mamaya natin sasagutin,
Yeah. Pila niya lang
excited kami.
pila.
Sige po, Miss Lei, go ahead.
Sige, thank you, Sir Gary. So, as you can see, nakagawa na ako ngayon ng report card just by clicking a button. And habang nagdadadalan tayo, magra-run lang siya sa background. So, bear with me, mas babagal yung computer ko. All right, let's go. Next is, so we've covered autocrat. Tataka ka, ano ba yung pros and cons of using autocrat? Ayan. So, pros and cons of using add-ons in general, hindi lang autocrat, is that number one na advantage niya, as you can see, is that it's plug and play. Available na siya sa public. So, you just need to look up and find yung mga programs that you can use and then install it. In most cases, it's free to use. So, you don't have to pay for anything. And syempre, yung mga walang tech know-how or tech background could actually just take advantage of it. You don't need any tech know-how. You don't need tech know-how to actually use it. Kailangan mo lang is magbasa at mag-aral kung paano siya i-set up. Pero kaya naman nating lahat gawin yun. Tapos, ang disadvantage niya is that it's generic. So, ibig sabihin, it's made kasi for public use. So, yung mga specific na parang mga bagay na gusto mo mangyari, kailangan mo either i-request sa developer or maghanap ka ng mas customized way, magpa-program ka ng sarili mo, autocrat. It has limited features as well. So yung ibang mga add-ons available out there, may usage limit. So kung ilan lang yung pwede mong ma-generate, for example, na document, or kung ilan lang yung pwedeng emails na ma-send mo. So limited siya. Ang alam ko, if you use autocrat sa email, limited lang siya to 100 emails a day. So, yun yung mga features na kailangan mong tanggapin dahil libre yung solution na ginagamit mo. At the same time, it might not work as reliably as intended. So, minsan, habang nag-generate ka, makikita mo, nag-generate siya ng 28 out of 30. So, kailangan mong i-report pa yung mga bugs na to sa developers. So, yun yung parang limit ng add-ons. So, yung next na pwede mong gawin habang nagsastart ka sa pag-automate is recording macros. Ang pag-record ng macro is, if you're familiar with Microsoft Excel, it's actually the same thing. So, what macro is all about recording a set of instructions that you can reuse with a click of a button. So, makikita lang siya sa Google Sheets. Unfortunately, wala pang macros na available ngayon sa Google Docs, sa slides, wala pa. So, available lang siya sa Google Sheets. You can go in your tools, tapos pag makikita mo din yung macro, and then makikita mo yung record macro. So, how do you create a macro? Simple lang, magre-record ka lang ng action. So, kunwari, sa case na to, gusto ko mangyari is if you-freeze niya yung column, tapos i-group niya per quarter yung columns. Kasi, para hindi ako ma-overwhelm sa nakikita ko. Para kung ano na yung anong quarter lang ako, yun lang yung bubuksan ko. Yun lang yung i-group ko. So, ang gagawin ko lang is i-record ko yung buong action na yon. So, if you-freeze ko yung column E, tapos, i-group ko from first quarter to fourth quarter. Tapos, pag natapos na ako doon, ang gagawin ko na next is isa-save ko yung macro. Pag na-save ko yung macro, i-rename ko to a format, and then yun, save na siya. So, paano ko naman ngayon gagamitin? So, if you're gonna run a macro for the very first time, you need to give authorization. So, bibigay mo lang yung account mo. Tapos, pagkabigay mo ng account mo, mag-grant ka lang ng permission to be able to use yung macro. And then yun, dun ka na pwedeng makapag-run. So, how you run it is you just select macro and then yung pangalan ng macro na inilagay mo. So, very quickly, I'll show you how you can do this. Ayan, dito na tayo sa ating example. So, na-record ko na yung macro. Kung ano yung pinakita ko sa inyo kanina, yun yung macro na ni-record ko. As you can see, itong sheet na to, mahaba siya. So, from first quarter hanggang fourth quarter. Ayan. So, kung i-leave ko siya as is, medyo overwhelming for my eyes. And at the same time, hindi ko makita yung pangalan ng mga learners. So, how will I do this? I will do this manually by first clicking itong column na to. Tapos, I'm gonna press view, tapos freeze. So, as you can see, medyo matagal siya. Yan. Yan yung normal na way. Tapos, kapag i-group ko na ngayon yung mga columns ko, pipiliin ko mula dito hanggang dito, tapos, group ko na. So, kung may 5 or 6 sheets akong kailangan gawin, medyo simple lang siyang gawin, pero magtatagal ako. Pero kung meron na akong macro, ang gagawin ko na lang is, pupunta ako dun sa sheet na yung format ko, press ko yung tools, pipiliin ko yung format, which is yung na-record ko na, tapos mag-run na siya sa background. And as you can see, group niya na yung mga columns for me. So, kunyari, nasa first quarter grading ako ngayon, Well, ito na lang i-expand ko. So, first quarter na lang yung makikita ko. Ayan. So, kung nasa second quarter na ako, i-expand ko na lang yung second quarter. So, naka-format na siya. Ang laking oras yung na-save. So, kung may mga, kung may mga may mga reports ka na paulit-ulit mong ginagawa, and may mga parang task ka na copy and paste, or format lang naman yung kailangan, that's when you would use a macro. And that's when it's best to use. So, ang kinagandahan sa macro is after learning how to use it, you can actually, it gives you a peek under the hood, so to say. So, kung gusto kong i-edit si macro, kunyari, nag-aaral ako ng Google Apps Scripting or bago lang ako sa Google Apps Scripting, gusto ko siyang matutunan, pwede kong gawin is mag-start ako sa macro, tapos pupunta lang ako sa macros and manage macros, and then I will edit the script. So what this does is, si macro kasi habang nag-record siya, at the background, gumagawa siya ng script for you. So, dahil curious ka on how it made the script, pwede mo ngayong, you can look under the hood and see na, ganito pala siya program. Ayan. So, parang it gives you an introduction to app scripting. Ayan. So, next is, once you have run the macro, it's all about pros and cons, assessing ano ba yung advantage and disadvantage nito, Miss Lei. Yung advantage nito is it can get you started with automation. Kasi yun nga, you just need to record the actions such as the formatting and the copy and paste of data. There's no tech know-how that is required for you to get started. And this is a good entry point to Google Apps Scripting kasi pwede mo makita kung paano siya program. You can learn and see exactly how it works. Ang disadvantage niya is that it's very limited sa sheets to which they are created. So kung gagawin ko siya dun sa other classes ko, I have to import it or I have to create another macro for it. Limited lang din yung recording functionality niya. So, ibig sabihin nun, you wouldn't be able to record complex tasks. Like yung pinakita ko sa inyo earlier na nag-create siya ng maraming sheets for me, hindi kaya ng macro yon. So, it wouldn't be able to cater to more advanced coding requirements. So, lastly, i-cover natin is how you can start coding. So, as I've said earlier, but you can start coding, pero it's, how do I say it? So, how you can start coding is actually not gonna be covered sa talk natin, but I will give you ways on how you can start. So, the first part is you can use free courses that are available online. I highly recommend that you start with Ben Collins, App Script Blast Off. So Ben Collins is also Google App Script advocate, and he explains things very well. So magandang foundation yun sa kanya. And if you want a more hands-on approach, you could go dun sa free course ni Coursera na Getting Started with Google App Script. Yung kay Coursera naman, it's just a 2-hour session, and you could have, you're gonna complete like one project at the end of the session. For more advanced professionals out there, you can brush on your JavaScript basics in codeacademy.com or in w3schools.com. And kung gusto mo talagang mag-dive deep into the world of app scripting, you can always refer to the Google App Script documentation in developers.google.com/appscript. So, the demo ko na ngayon kung paano natin ginawa yung kanina nating automation. Let me just quickly close some of my windows para hindi ganun ka pagod yung computer ko. So, please bear with me one moment as I close my windows. Ayan. Oo. Kasi mag-run tayo ng script. So, kailangan ko
nagka-close
lang
ka ng window, Miss, habang nagka-close ka, no? So if you have any question po sa mga manonood, make sure to type it in the chat area, and we are excited to answer later the questions of our viewers. Marami na tayo, may mga 3-4 na tayong question na very interesting. Medyo may commonalities kasi yung ibang question. So we are so excited for this. Yeah, sige, take it away again, Miss Lei.
Parang excited na ako sa questions. Saglit na lang. Konti na lang i-close ko. Dami pala naka-open. Alright. So, ito yung itsura nung nung class record kanina. So, habang dumadaldal tayo, ayan, na gagawa na siya sa background. Let me just close that. And then, go sa... Yan. So, how do we generate exactly? So, as I've mentioned earlier, you need to work with your registrar so that you can get this app going para isang effort na lang. So, si registrar, ililista niya ngayon yung last name and first name ng lahat ng enrollees. Tapos, yung grade and section. Si registrar na rin yung magde-define kung ano ba yung mga subjects available for that grade level. So, for example, for grade 3, sa school ninyo, they have math, English, Filipino, edukasyon pagpapakatao, araling panlipunan. Pero in another school, it could be math, English, values, education, science, ganyan. So you can just define it here sa subjects per grade level. And then, you can define din kung sino yung mga advisors for that class para i-include na siya dun sa script na gagawin. So in this case, hindi naman halata na na fan ako ng Blackpink. So nakalagay dito yung mga teachers. Tapos, ang gagawin mo na lang is you're gonna click utilities. So itong utilities section na to, in most Google Sheets, hindi siya available. So this is actually a menu that we created. So when you click Create Class Sheet, you can see that the script is already running. And then you would be able to see in another file, like let me click my drive. So here, it created another folder. And from that folder, I'll be able to see all the class records being created. So right now, nandito pa siya sa Apple. So hintayin lang natin. Pagtatabihin ko sila para makita ninyo. Ayan. Close ko natin to. Ayan. Yay, konti na lang. So yan. So the script is still running. So yan, nakita ninyo tapos na siya sa Apple. Nasa banana na siya. So pwede na nating buksan si Apple. Tapos, sa file na to, ang makikita mo na ngayon are, So makikita mo ngayon sa file na to is a consolidated list. Depende dun sa define mong subjects for that grade level. So each subject will have a tab, and then yung subject na yon, nandun na nakalagay yung percentage or weights na nilagay ni DepEd. And then, from here, ang gagawin mo na is, yun nga, bibigyan mo na lang ng isa-share mo na lang tong sheet na to ngayon dun sa mga teachers for that subject. So that's so easy na. So parang ang gagawin mo na lang is isa-share mo na lang tong file na to. Tapos pag na-share mo na yung file na to, kapag nag-record ka ng grade mo, automatic na mako-consolidate niya na. So sige, papakitaan ko kayo mabilis. Punta tayo sa math. Tapos, ang gagawin natin is, oh my God, mabasa ko yung mga comment. I read this part every year. I know, I can feel your pain. So, for example, nagpa-test ka kay James. 20, sa lahat, 20 points. So, lagay mo lang kung ano yung grade niya. Ay, kawawa naman siya, 12 lang siya. Tapos, kailangan natin lagyan yung written work, performance task, and quarterly assessment bago siya mapunta sa consolidated sheet. So, lalagyan ko lang quickly. 20 points din yung performance task. Dahil performer siya, naka 20 points siya. Tapos, sa quarterly exam, isa lang, pero 1 to 100. Tapos, naka 85 siya, 86 siya. Ayan. So, ngayon, kinompute niya na kung ilan yung grade niya, nakalagay na din yung performance task. Yes, transmuted yung grade dito. So, may transmutation table yung first quarter grade niya from the initial to the transmuted grade. Tapos, pag pumunta ka sa consolidated file, ayan, nandun na. So, pag tinignan mo, pag in-expand ko to, nakikita mo na yung math, 88 yung grade niya. So, si English teacher, kung gagawin niya yon, lalabas din dito yung sa consolidated filing grade. Tapos, i-connect natin siya sa AutoCAD para diretso na siya sa reporting cards. O, yun. Tapos na ang laban. So actually, yun yung pinaka-meat ng demo. Pero I can, medyo binibilisan ko para kung marami kayong tanong, masasagutan natin lahat yun. So what are the pros and cons? Number one, it's very powerful because you can be allowed to customize to your heart's content. So kumbaga, kung may hinanaing ka, sabihin mo lang. Tapos sabihin mo lang sa amin na, Lei, ito yung gusto ko mangyari. Tapos, kung within all the Google naman siya, kaya natin gawin yun or gawa ng paraan. Ang downside is it's too technical and time-consuming for people without any tech background to start. Kasi you really need to invest time to learn it. And alam naman natin, time is money. So, we need to put in the work. At the same time, once you learn of this world, work is never done. So it would really require you to maintain what you've done, and there are a lot of script changes that might arise as you use it. So yung work never gets done. So in summary, Google Apps script is awesome. It can help a lot of people, and it can help a lot of teachers. Pero to start automating and to start Google Apps Script, it's not just for programmers. So no matter what your level is, you can use add-ons, you can use macros, you can use coding, but the best part is you can start automating what you're doing now. So if you want more, we can help you because at Bespoke Solutions, we believe that if you start small, like with your most pressing problems, and if you start with something that is familiar through the use of Google Apps, we can all move towards automation and we can all move towards technology. So if you want to know more about Google Apps Script automation and how it could help you in your school, or if you want for us to customize these add-ons for you, you can schedule a consultation at mabilis na plug lang at bespokesolutions.com, and please add us on our social media page. That's it. Thank you so much, everybody. The floor is now open for questions.
Yan. Thank you, Miss Lei. Ang galing-galing talaga. Kaya ako na-excite. Kaya ako gusto mong attend talaga ng session na to. Kahit na very hectic ang ating schedule. Kasi napaka-interesting ni AppScript. I think everyone can learn it. Kasi lalo na pag napapagod tayo, we want to have a better solution. Alam natin po ulit-ulit yung ginagawa natin. Alam natin, hindi lang natin alam kung paano gawin, pero alam natin may mas magandang paraan. So yung automation na yan can be add-ons, can be macros and app scripting. Yung add-ons, okay na ako dyan. Yung macros, hindi ko siya, before this session, hindi ko siya ma-appreciate. Yun lang yun. Oo nga, pero na-appreciate ko na si macros ngayon. Pero ito yung sinabi mo, medyo bitin. Kaya talagang scripting yung kailangan. Pero even with scripting, hindi naman kailangan ng programmer. Pero mas ma-appreciate to ng mga programmers noon kasi dati nagpapakahirap sila mag-code ngayon. Ganun lang, drag and drop na, So, it's so useful. So, maraming tayong tanong, Miss Paula, come on, meron tayong first question dito, Sabi po ni Sir Richard, Sir Richard asked, possible po kaya magkagawa ng document tracking system using Google Apps? Possible ba yon? Kasi hindi ko pa talaga alam si scripting. So, is it possible? Miss Lay, I think ayan. Miss Lay, hindi ka namin marinig. I don't know kung ako ba.
Sorry, nakamute ako. One
Yeah.
second.
Okay.
So the short answer is yes, it's possible
Yeah.
to have a document tracking system. You just need to have your documents siguro in Google Workspace. Tapos, the more question is, kasi customized kami, programmers, is ano ba yung document na itatrack mo? And ano ba yung mga users na, ano yung pinaka-goal mo for tracking those documents? So before we can jump into programming it right away.
Mhm. Kasi si scripting is parang parang design talaga dun sa need, ano? So,
Yes.
ina-address niya yung need natin. Sige.
Yes.
Meron pa tayong isang question. Kasi meron tayong nag-post ng question. So, sabi ni Sir Alan, good evening. Will it be possible in Google Apps scripting that from specific cells with grade encoded will be automatically emailed directly to students without sharing the entire workbook or sheet?
Yes, that's possible. Like, yes. We've
Ayan.
created business solutions na ang ginagawa naman niya is whenever may change na gawin, mag-i-email siya dun sa group or dun sa naka-specify na email address dun sa cell. Pero yeah, you can actually connect your Google Sheet to your email para you can send emails through your Google Sheets.
Yeah. Ako, sige, wala pa yung susunod na question. Ako muna magtatanong, Miss Lay, yung mga
Yes.
add-ons ba ay galing sa scripting, sa Google Apps script?
Yes, it is. It is out of Google Apps Script. Pero meron lang silang approval process na ginagawa para maging made siya for public consumption.
Yes. So, meron pa ba tayong question yan? Ayan, meron tayong question. Would it be possible to merge the data from one Google Sheet to another individual Google Sheet? I use this to send a list of students per class to the concerned department for the year-end clearance. Ayan, nabitin yung kanyang message. Ayan. Ms. Lay, possible daw ba?
It's possible, and I would want to extract all the remarks and accountabilities on an individual sheet for each client. It is possible to do as long as you have like a rule na parang this is your rule, this is how you're gonna merge it, and so parang i-act lang natin siya in a program. So if you have like a parameters on what you use to merge your document, so that and then to which department you would need to send it to, or which department will you need to share it to, it is possible. So you just really need to think about yung lahat ng applicable instances and parameters so that we can hold it.
Very nice, no? So, ayun, meron pa po ba tayong tanong? Okay. So, ayan po, no? I think nasagot natin yung mga tanong kasi yung iba para yung question. So, similar yung question. So, I think yun yung hinighlight ng question natin, no? So, Ms. Lay, thank you so much for gracing us this evening. I learned a lot. And excited na ako. Mukhang magiging busy na naman ako sa pag-aaral. Ano? Natutuwa ako kasi, ayan, no? Hindi ko lang kung naging okay. Kanina po, before we go live, sabi ni Ms. Lay, nasabi na pala niya kanina ng live na, no? Siya ay sa fine accountant, ano? Pero kaya niya nagawa niya mag-automate ng mga bagay-bagay. Tapos si Ms. Paula, yun ay hindi related din sa IT, pero ngayon nasa IT na rin, ano? Ako po ay management graduate, pero I'm into technology. So, that is what I like about Google. You can learn it kasi nandun yung interest lang. So, hindi nyo kailangan maging technical na tao para matutunan yung Google tools like app scripting and automation. No? Yan. Nakakatuwa. So, for those who are tuning in right now, please fill out the evaluation form kasi po, you can get a certificate if you do it now. Kasi po, hindi po yan, recorded po ito para pwede nyo i-share sa iba. Pero yung certificate po, available lang po tonight. Hindi na po siya available bukas. Ano po? So, Miss Paula, join us now. Come back here. Yan. Miss Paula.
Sige po, ayusin lang po natin ang ating broadcast.
Yeah.
Ayan. Actually, one thing that I was so excited about and I've been raving, sabi ko kay Miss Lay when we were meeting for the siguro I think the second time ano Miss Lay, like I've been really raving about this to my colleagues kasi a lot of things that we're doing now um won't allow us to focus on teaching. And our profession is we're teachers. So we're supposed to be teaching. And dapat yung admin work natin is not going to hindi yun yung makakapag-stop sa'tin para maging quality yung dine-deliver din natin sa ating mga estudyante, especially during the time of the pandemic. So, I was so excited. I think even Maan and the others, yung Gigi Ortigas na nasa backstage. Hello.
Isama na natin sila. Tara na.
Handa ba
Ayan.
kayo, guys? Handa ba kayo?
Excited eh. So, sama pa natin sila. Miss Maki,
Ayan, si Maki.
Sir Nico.
Si Nico.
Ang dami namin dito. Akala nyo, konti lang kami, pero we're so happy to be in this episode or in this session. Yeah.
So, yeah. So,
Really, thank you. Sobrang ang saya ko habang pinapanood kita.
Ako din. No, thank you. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to talk more about Google app scripting and like just showing you that there are these kinds of tools that you can use at your disposal.
Yan po, no? So, kaya po namin invite si Ms. Lay kasi alam namin makakatulong siya sa mga guro. Ayan. So, ito po ang aming one of our mission, no? To help teachers. So, kapag merong paulit-ulit tayong ginagawa, I think we can automate it. So, we can start using add-ons, we can start using macros, level up natin, gagawin po natin si app scripting. So, maybe, ayan o, marami pa pong episode, marami pa pong sessions na bukas hanggang Sunday. So make sure to fill out the evaluation form kasi we're giving out po voucher codes for GCE level 1 para po sayang din yun, no? $10. Ano? So it's a good thing to be part of GEG of Google Certified Educators because you will have you'll grow your network. That's one, and then you will learn from them. That is why I've been with Google for not really employed by Google, but with GEG for 6 years now. Ayan, 6 years. So kasi po, I learned a lot from them. Matagal na po akong guro, akala ko wala na akong matutunan ng iba. Pero because of GEG and Google as an innovator and trainer, I still learn. I think, alam ko po, no, nakita ko na rin na ang dami ko pang matutunan. Katulad po ngayong gabi, ayan, app scripting. Po, no? So, marami pa pong sessions. You can see the full list of sessions for Filipino language by visiting the link flashed on screen. Ito po ay hindi lang dito sa Pilipinas nangyayari po yan sa iba't ibang panig ng Asia Pacifico. Yan. Miss Paula, Miss Maan, Sir Nico, Miss Maki, go ahead.
Nagkahiyaan na. I actually really want to thank Miss Lay kasi to be honest, this is one thing na hindi masyadong napapag-usapan ng mga guro because a lot of people, yun nga, just like what Sir Gary mentioned kanina, before we aired tonight, nagkaalaman kung ano yung mga majors namin ng college. And we actually realized that not all of, actually wala, di ba? Wala sa atin ng IT or CS.
Management.
Oo, wala. So, yeah, exactly. So, you actually don't need to be an IT major or a CS major para, to get to know how you can make your lives easier via AppScript. And if you want to know more about app scripting or how app scripting can make your schools, automate faster, you can actually reach nila Miss Lay. So, Miss Lay, ano nga ulit, how can we reach you again? Ano po ang inyong contact detail?
Well, you can reach me sa email namin, which is yo@, bespokesolutions.com, or you can message us sa social media page namin na Bespoke Solutions sa Facebook at saka sa Instagram. At saka sa Twitter. Lahat na. Yan.
Okay,
International.
ayan.
Ayan. Tama.
Yeah,
Ayan,
po, ano?
there you go.
So just get in touch with Miss Lei using AppScript.
We're more than happy
Yeah.
to help our educators. Para naman yung yung giving back. Dahil naging product din tayo yung public school system. So yeah, it's exciting to give back.
Thank
And special mention kay Miss Maina. Maina, hello! Because
Ayan,
Miss Maina po ang dahilan kung bakit kami nagpunta ni Miss Lei.
Thank you so much.
Ayan, thank you, Miss Maina.
Yeah, and maraming salamat din po for the viewers of this today, especially kahit ngayon na 9 o'clock na. So maraming salamat po. We have been receiving so much comments and also your questions, and we would like to thank yung mga speakers natin for today. Actually, nakakatawa na may mental block na ako. Sino ba yung mga speakers natin today, Miss Maan?
Ay, nawala sa isa.
Okay.
Miss Maan.
Okay.
We had many speakers.
Okay.
Franco actually broadcasted in his own channel, no? Franco Atun from GEG San Juan. And then we also had Alvin of GEG South Manila. Tapos this morning, the event was opened actually by Miss Eileen Apollo de Jesus, who's the head of GEG, Google for Education in the Asia Pacific region. So it was really an exciting day for all of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
So very varied yung ating mga sessions. Nabitin ako, Miss Lei. Nabitin ako. Pero at least, yun muna pinakita mo sa akin kasi uunti-unti muna kasi baka nakaka-overwhelm naman sa iba.
Yeah.
So I hope we can invite you again maybe for another session about going deeper dun sa app scripting, kasi pinatikim mo kami ngayon. So tama application. So maybe give us time to learn muna itong mga binigay mo, yung intro, and then hopefully in the future we can invite you again. Okay na ba, Miss Lei?
Yes, of course. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Again, we're
again,
more
Miss
than
Lei.
happy to contribute whatever we can.
Yan,
And
maraming
please
salamat.
remember po, for all our viewers, meron po tayong replay. So it's available in Google Educator Group Philippines sa aming Facebook group. And it's also available in the YouTube channel of GEG Philippines. Yung kila Franco kanina, yung nag-air nung nag-speak si Franco, it's available in Kaagapay Teacher Support sa kanilang Facebook and at the same time sa kanilang YouTube. So, and also, once again,
Tsaka Miss Paula, dito sa EdTech and Beyond channel, subscribe lang po
yes.
kayo. Pati po yung mga previous webinars namin, kasi this is the third run of GEG APAC. Yung second po, nandun din. Yung first, wala. Yan. So, maraming salamat po ulit sa inyo lahat.
Maraming salamat po. Maraming salamat po, especially to Miss Lei. And to Sir Alan, alam ko nasa background ka. Maraming salamat po sa CEO ng
Thank you daw. Wala naman daw. Sinigaw niya na lang. Thank you so much.
All right. So, this has been a great day for all of us. Maraming salamat mga kapwa guro. Mabuhay po ang mga kaguruan ng Pilipinas. Kayo po ay mga bayani ng 21st century. Don't forget to also, if you want to reach us, don't forget to subscribe din po sa YouTube channel and also to add yourselves in the Google Educator Group Philippines. And last but not the least, huwag niyo pong kalimutan, mag-fill out po tayo ng evaluation form. Maraming salamat po ulit sa lahat. So, yun lang po. Good night and see you tomorrow. It's going to be a very action-packed events bukas. Mas marami po kaming talks na inihanda para sa inyo tomorrow and also on Sunday. So, that's it. Maraming salamat ulit. Good night. Tayo po ay mag-beauty rest. Paalam, everyone.
Bye, everyone. See you.